Hello, welcome to my haunted kitchen. Today we're going to cook with pumpkin. I use a lot of canned pumpkin, especially when my dog gets sick, and I always have tons left over, so I have to come up with so many recipes to try and use up all the pumpkin before it goes to waste. All these recipes today use canned pumpkin puree. In my grocery store, it comes in these big cans. So I've had to come up with a lot of recipes to use it all up. This recipe uses canned pumpkin puree and plenty of delicious, healthy ingredients. It's a pumpkin morning glory muffin. What does it mean by morning glory? What does that mean? What does morning glory mean to you? I don't know. It could be pretty glorious. What does it mean by morning glory? Does it mean you have a good BM? It's pretty glorious, to be honest. Let's give it a try.
Let's make pumpkin morning glory muffins. They're packed with delicious, wholesome ingredients like pumpkin puree, pumpkin seeds, walnuts, dried cranberries, shredded carrots, and coconut. They're really easy to make and are absolutely delicious. Let's get started. First, I'm going to prepare my super ancient muffin tin by spraying each well with oil and inserting a cupcake liner. This recipe makes 12 muffins, so of course I have 11 Halloween theme papers and 1 Christmas one. What are you gonna do? Now I'll make the batter. Grab a large mixing bowl and add 1 cup of pumpkin puree. Add 2 eggs. These eggs are fresh from my friend's chickens, so I like to add them one at a time to check them over first. Add a half a cup of neutral oil. This is avocado oil. Whisk that together until completely mixed. Then we'll add the dry ingredients, starting with 2 cups of all-purpose flour, half a cup of dark brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of pumpkin spice, and if you watch till the end of this video, I'll show you how to make your own. Mix that up gently, just until incorporated and no flour streaks remain. Like this. Now add in half a cup of shredded carrots, half a cup of chopped walnuts, a 1/4 cup of dried cranberries, 1/4 cup of shredded coconut, and a 1/4 cup of pumpkin seeds. I'll save the other half for the topping. Gently fold all that in. Try not to mix too much. Just try to get everything evenly distributed. Like this. Now grab your prepared muffin pan. Evenly divide the batter among the 12 muffin papers. I'm just going to use 2 spoons, nothing fancy. I'm going to top each muffin with the rest of those pumpkin seeds. Bake at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for about 20 minutes. Use a toothpick or skewer to test. There should be barely any moist crumbs. Let cool in the pan before storing in a sealed container for up to 3 days. And there you have it, pumpkin morning glory muffins. You can find the link to the recipe in the description box below. Let me know in the comments if you made them and if you liked them. Thanks for watching.
It's obviously fall, and what is everybody's favorite fall drink? The pumpkin spice latte. I mean, who doesn't love a delicious gourd-flavored beverage on a chilly day? Am I right? I'm not really into the gourd-flavored beverage. That's all the rage. So instead, I'm going to make a pumpkin spice latte scone using canned pumpkin puree. Let's get started.
Let's make pumpkin spice latte scones. It's your favorite coffee shop treats combined into one delicious scone. This recipe is quick and easy, drizzled with a delicious espresso glaze. Grab a big mixing bowl and add 2½ cups of all-purpose flour, half a cup of dark brown sugar, 1 tablespoon baking powder, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 2 teaspoons of pumpkin spice, and if you watch all the way to the end of this video, I'll show you how to make your own, and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Whisk that together until combined. Add a half a cup of cold cubed butter. Using a pastry blender thingy, cut in the butter until the pieces are about the size of peas, or whatever your favorite legume is, like this. Now add 3/4 of a cup of pumpkin puree, 1/3 of a cup of buttermilk, 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Gently mix until thoroughly combined. Like this. Sprinkle a little flour on the counter and pour all that out. Using your hands, shape that dough into a rectangle and then cut into 12 pieces. You can make squares or triangles or whatever the heck this shape is. Squangles? Anywho, put the scones on a baking sheet lined with parchment paper or a silicone mat. Those go in the refrigerator to chill for about 15 minutes while you preheat the oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Bake for 15 minutes or until the bottoms of the scones become golden. While I let those cool, let's make the espresso glaze. Grab a small mixing bowl and add half a cup of icing sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Now I'm going to take 1½ tablespoons of buttermilk and mix in 1 teaspoon of espresso powder. This is the kind I use because it's affordable. This is another brand I use sometimes. I'll just quickly whisk the espresso powder into the buttermilk until it's dissolved, and then add it to the glaze ingredients. Whisk that until smooth. You can wait until the scones are completely cooled to glaze them, or you can do it when they're warm. It's up to you. I usually put a sheet of parchment paper under a cooling rack when I glaze them for easy cleanup. And that's pumpkin spiced latte scones. You can find the link to the recipe in the description. Let me know in the comments if you made them and if you liked them. Thanks for watching.
These cookies are my absolute favorite. I love making them every fall. I only make them once because I have absolutely no control over eating all of them. And they're so good. It's a pumpkin spice cookie with a brown sugar frosting. The frosting is so good. I could just eat that straight out of the pot. And maybe I have once or twice, but don't tell anyone. That's just between you and me. Let's get started.
Let's make pumpkin spice cookies with brown sugar frosting. These cookies are moist and tender, and the brown sugar frosting is absolutely addictive. Let's get started. In a large mixing bowl, add 2½ cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon each of baking soda and baking powder, 1 tablespoon of pumpkin spice, and if you watch all the way to the end of the video, I'll show you how to make your own. Half a teaspoon of salt. Whisk those together until combined. Grab another mixing bowl, add half a cup of softened butter, 1 cup of white sugar, and half a cup of brown sugar. Using a mixer, cream the butter and sugars together until fluffy. Add 1 3/4 cups of pumpkin puree, 1 egg, 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Mix until combined. I think I'm going to need a bigger bowl now, so I grabbed that and we'll combine the wet and dry ingredients until completely mixed. Grab your baking sheet lined with parchment paper or a silicone mat. I'm going to use a cookie scoop. Give it a few test clicks first. This recipe makes 24 cookies, so you'll need 2 baking sheets. Before these go into a 350 degree Fahrenheit oven, I'm going to wet my hand and pat this dough down a bit. These take about 15 minutes to bake, and while those are in the oven, we'll make the brown sugar frosting. In a small saucepan over medium heat, melt half a cup of butter. When that's melted, add 1 cup of dark brown sugar and reduce heat to medium-low. Add a 1/4 cup of heavy cream. Stir for about 2 minutes. The sugar will dissolve and the mixture will be smooth and glossy. Turn off the heat and stir in 1 teaspoon of vanilla. In a mixing bowl, add the brown sugar mixture. Add 2 cups of icing sugar. Whisk until smooth and combined. Spread the frosting over the cooled cookies using a spoon. Yummy. You can find the link to the recipe in the description. Let me know in the comments if you made this recipe and if you liked it. Thanks for watching.
Canned pumpkin puree has more uses than just baking. Here's a delicious pumpkin Alfredo pasta that's super easy, delicious, and you can make it as fancy as you want. Let's get started.
In the time it takes to cook your pasta, we're going to make pasta with pumpkin, Parmesan cream, crispy sage, and walnuts. In a dry frying pan over medium heat, add a 1/4 cup of chopped walnuts. Just toss them around for a minute or so until they get nice and toasty, and then set those aside. Now we're going to make the crispy sage. Over medium heat, add 1 tablespoon of olive oil and 2 tablespoons of butter. Get those nice and melty. Add about 10 leaves of fresh sage that are washed and dried. Arrange the leaves in a single layer. We're going to let them get crispy on one side. Then we're going to turn them over to crisp on the other side. This only takes a couple of minutes. Here I'm adding a pinch of salt. Guys, you can see me struggle with these tongs. They did not want to pick up anything. After they're nice and crispy, remove the leaves to a paper towel-lined plate. Why am I using these tongs? Blot off any excess oil and butter. I'm switching to my large frying pan over medium heat. Add 1 tablespoon of olive oil and 1 tablespoon of butter. Let that get nice and melty. Now I'm adding 1 large shallot and 2 cloves of garlic, finely diced. Stir that together and cook until fragrant. Now I'm adding back about half of the crispy sage leaves that I crumbled up and stir them to get coated in the butter. Next, I'm adding 1 cup of pureed pumpkin from a can, not pumpkin pie filling, and stir that together really well. Once that's nice and smooth, add 1 cup of heavy cream. Now I'll whisk that until it's saucy and gorgeous, just like you. Now I'm adding about a 1/4 cup of the pasta cooking water. This will help thicken the sauce. I'll whisk that in until it's really smooth. The last ingredient is 1 cup of grated Parmigiano Reggiano. You could use regular Parmesan or Pecorino or Asiago if that's what you have. Whisk that until the cheese is melted and the sauce is smooth. At this point, if it's looking too thick, you can add a bit more pasta water, but this looks really good. This is 4 servings of cooked linguine pasta. You can use whatever pasta your heart desires. I won't judge. Stir that all together until the sauce is thick and clinging to the pasta, just like my ex. Now let's serve this pasta. This makes about 4 servings, and here's how I would serve it. Top the pasta with toasted walnuts, some chopped fresh parsley, add a little bit more of that delicious grated Parmesan, and top with some of your crispy sage leaves. Let me know in the comments if you tried this pumpkin pasta recipe and if you liked it. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. It really helps me out. As always, you can find the full printable recipe on my website. The link will be in the description box below. Thanks for watching!
If you're looking for an alternative to pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving dinner, why not try this pumpkin cheesecake in a jar? Let's get started. I've been invited to Friendsgiving this year. It's Thanksgiving at my friend's house. They've asked me to bring dessert. I need to make a confession. I hate pumpkin pie. I hate the color. I hate the texture. The whole thing, it gives me the ick. So instead, I'm going to make pumpkin cheesecake in a jar. Let's get started.
So here was my idea for the cheesecake. The bottom layer will be pumpkin spice cake, then a layer of pumpkin cheesecake, salted bourbon caramel sauce, whipped cream, and topped with a spiced graham crumble. So the first thing I'm going to make is the salted bourbon caramel sauce. In a large saucepan over medium heat, I'm going to add 1 cup of granulated sugar and 1/2 cup of water. And now here is where the magic happens. We're just going to leave this alone. We're not going to stir it. Every once in a while, I'll swirl the pot around, but otherwise, don't touch it. We're making a caramel here, so we're just going to wait until the sugar turns a nice, deep amber color. Whatever you do, don't walk away. I sped this up, but you can see it changes color very quickly. When it starts looking like this, I'm going to take it off the heat. Now you'll see why I used a large pot. I'm going to add 3/4 cup of heavy cream and 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt. It's going to bubble up like crazy. Stir that until the bubbles calm down a bit. Now I'm adding 1 tablespoon of bourbon. This is Buffalo Trace. If you don't want to use bourbon, you can use 2 teaspoons of vanilla. When the caramel is looking all kinds of smooth, we're going to store it in a jar in the refrigerator. We want the caramel to be cold before we add it to our cheesecake. And now we'll do the next step, the pumpkin spice cake. First, we'll mix up the dry ingredients. Here's 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 tablespoon of pumpkin spice. I have a recipe to make your own pumpkin spice. The link is in the description below. I'll use the stand mixer for the rest of it. First, I'm going to mix together 1 1/4 cups of dark brown sugar and 4 large eggs and beat that on medium speed until light and frothy. Now I'll add 3/4 cup of vegetable oil. This is avocado oil, and 1 15-ounce can of pumpkin puree, about 2 cups. I'm going to mix that until it's combined, and then you'll add the dry mix, alternating with the milk until just combined. Sorry, that footage got lost. And this is what it'll look like after you mix in the dry ingredients and the milk. Now you want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and let's get our pan ready to go. I'm going to grab my super trashed jelly roll pan. A jelly roll pan is a deep-sided baking sheet. These are the jars I'll be using. These are 250 ml or 8-ounce wide-mouth mason jars. I just got them at the dollar store. I'm also going to find a round cutter for the cake so I can cut the cake to fit my jars. I found this biscuit cutter that'll be perfect, but you can use anything round to cut with, like a glass. Once the cake is baked, I'll cut out 12 circles to fit the 12 jars I bought. Look at my fancy pinky. Line the pan with parchment paper, and here's a little tip. If you put a little water down first, the paper sticks to the pan perfectly. And pour in your batter. I have made way too much batter, so next time I'll cut the recipe in half. I had batter left over, so I made a separate cake and, had a little snack. I'm going to spread the batter out evenly from edge to edge. Once the pan is evenly covered, I'm going to pop that into the 350-degree oven for about 20 minutes. But the timing will depend on the size of your pan and how deep you made the batter. You can test for doneness by inserting a toothpick into the center of the cake, and once it comes out clean, it's done. Let cool for about 15 minutes and then cover and refrigerate while we make the pumpkin cheesecake filling. Using my stand mixer, I'm going to whip up 1 cup of heavy cream until stiff peaks and set that aside. I'm going to keep using the stand mixer and add 2 packages of cream cheese. I'll beat that on medium-high speed until it's smooth and there's no lumps. Now I'll add 1 cup of pumpkin puree, 3/4 of a cup of icing sugar, and 1/4 cup of dark brown sugar. Mix that until it's completely combined and then add 2 teaspoons of pumpkin spice, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and a pinch of salt. And last, a teaspoon of vanilla. Beat that until everything is completely combined and there is no lumps left. And then we'll add the whipped cream. I'm going to pour this pumpkin cream cheese mixture into a big bowl and fold in the whipped cream. No worries, David. I got you. Just watch how I do it. I'll keep folding until there's no streaks of whipped cream left and it's completely smooth. I'm going to cover and refrigerate this while I make the final component, the spiced graham cracker crumble. For the crumble, I'm going to use an entire sleeve of these honey graham crackers and smash them up in a Ziploc bag. Not too much, we don't want crumbs, just big pieces. Add those graham pieces to a bowl and then add 3 tablespoons of dark brown sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, and a big pinch of salt. Stir that up with a fork until it's completely combined. And then add 6 tablespoons of melted unsalted butter. Oops. And 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. Stir until every crumb is coated with the butter. Then I'll grab a baking sheet lined with parchment paper or a silicone mat and spread the crumbs evenly with your hands into a single layer. And then pop that into a 325-degree Fahrenheit oven for about 8 to 12 minutes or until they're golden brown and fragrant. I'm going to store this in a sealed container while I make some more whipped cream and then we can assemble our cheesecakes. Alrighty, I'll show you how to do 1 jar. I'm just getting all my tools together here. You can put the cheesecake filling into the jar any way you like, but I'm going to use this piping bag. I have 2 of them. I might use the other one for the whipped cream. We'll see how that goes. I'm going to use this biscuit cutter to cut out a round of cake and then put that at the bottom of the jar. Perfect. Now I'll drizzle in some of that salted bourbon caramel sauce and pipe in some pumpkin cheesecake filling, followed by a layer of whipped cream. Now I'm going to add some of those spiced graham crumbles and a final drizzle of the salted bourbon caramel sauce. Just repeat these steps for all of the jars. And here's a closer look at the finished cheesecake. I can't wait to try it.
It's so pretty. I don't want to dig into it. All those layers. Oh, look at that. Oh, ready? Oh, the cake is really moist. The cheesecake is perfectly smooth and it's already set. It's a no-bake cheesecake, so easy. The whipped cream, I just sweetened it with like 1 spoon of icing sugar to like 1.5 cups of whipping cream, and it's absolutely perfect. And then on top we have these crunchy cinnamon graham crumbles, and of course the salted bourbon caramel, 2 layers worth. Oh, it's so good. One more bite. That is a special dessert. I know it was a lot of steps. It's 5 components. Spice cake, pumpkin cheesecake, whipped cream, cinnamon graham crumble, and salted bourbon caramel sauce. So good, you guys. I hope you try it. Happy Friendsgiving.
You can find all these recipes on my website and the links are in the description below. And if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching and we'll see you in the next video.
You can make your own pumpkin spice. It's really easy, and here's how you do it. Let's get started. The last one we're gonna make is pumpkin spice. Only 5 ingredients. We'll start with cinnamon, ground ginger, ground cloves, allspice, and nutmeg. Pumpkin spice is put in so many yummy baked goods and muffins and cupcakes and cakes. But if you're not a baker, just sprinkle it on your coffee. Be all bougie. Oh, smells like fall. Pumpkin spice.
You can find the link to the full printable recipe in the description box below. If you like this video, please do me a favor and give me a like and subscribe. It really does help me out.
Well, that's it for my pumpkin compilation. I hope you enjoyed some of these recipes and we'll give them a try. Once again, I appreciate you and thanks for watching. See you in the next video.